kind of about music podcast.
Good. We finally got all the equipment set up, and I'm impressed that we managed to get through Rosanna on the first take.
That was it. That was definitely the first time.
That was the first one,
Yep.
indeed.
Absolutely.
No practice involved.
Actually, Tim only learned that song today, so you know,
Yeah.
we'll blame it all on Tim.
Yeah. That big fluff I did.
Because I was the only one making mistakes, right?
That was it. That big fluff I did before the solo. That was.
We were sound checking. It's all good. It's all
That's
good.
what it's called.
This is Ollie Sears, he's a drummer. He's also my housemate. You can tell from the drums that he's a drummer. And we've been living together now for how long? We've been living together.
5-6 weeks.
5 or 6 weeks, and we've had lots of musical chats and hangouts and drinks and stuff. And we finally set a drum kit up in our living room. This is our living room, and we're going to do a podcast and talk about some music.
Yeah.
So, Toto, we did some Toto. We've had a couple of nights on the booze, discussing Toto at length and listening to all the. There's a podcast that you told me about where you can get all this tracks separated and everything in there.
Yeah.
What's the name of that podcast?
That's a good question that I should have looked up before we started.
You got to speak right into the mic.
Sorry,
man,
here I am. No, this was a link that someone had posted on Facebook. It's basically you can find the stems for it really, really easily on YouTube. Any kind of combination of drums only, bass only. They even have like guitar, bass, and drums if you want to like practice.
And you've got all the
keys
backing
and stuff
vocals
like
and
that.
stuff separate.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll find this link and post it in the description.
Maybe, yeah.
Because I should have done my homework and didn't.
Terrible.
There was a friend posted it up and said, "Look at this, it's really great," and it is.
Yeah, it's awesome. Most musicians, they get around to a point where they're absolutely obsessed with Toto, and like, of course, they did all the MJ stuff. They did in the 80s, like especially the drummer. Jeff Porcaro, isn't it, the drummer? Played on almost everything that's 80s.
Absolutely.
And then culminating in basically recording all of Thriller.
Yeah.
Basically, they were a band with MJ as their lead singer.
Absolutely, yeah. Thriller was basically Toto with him.
It was awesome. My favourite track on Thriller is Baby Be Mine, I think, which is one. It's so good, and it's one that doesn't like when you're playing in bars and stuff around London, like PYT and stuff like that comes up a lot. Mm-hmm. And everyone knows Thriller and Billie Jean, but everyone sleeps on Baby Be Mine. And I think that's the best song on there.
Yeah, it's a weird track that I know. I only heard it when it was you go and listen to Thriller and check it all out. And that came up. I'd never heard it before on anything else. On like
and it's classic Toto as well. It's like got the classic Toto sound. Have you heard that one, Tim?
No, I haven't.
It's got this.
You should probably do some listening, shouldn't I? Yeah.
It's got like a big synth bass on it, basically.
Cool. Like a bit of synth bass.
Yeah. It's super cool. It's got all the Toto keyboard sounds. That's kind of how you know.
Loads of cowbell.
Human Nature's on that album as well, isn't it?
It is.
So do you know the story of Human Nature?
I don't. Tell me the story.
Human Nature
of
was the
Human Nature.
keyboard player. Is it Steve Porcaro?
I don't know.
Well, whoever the keyboard
Billy
player is.
Graham, Nigel Porcaro.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I'm terrible with the names of... Are you making this up now?
Yeah, of course I am.
Okay. Right, okay. So he wrote Human Nature for Toto, and he took it into the session, and they were all like, it's not really a Toto song, it's not that strong, it's a bit weak. And he went, all right, fair enough. And he got on a demo tape that ended up in Quincy Jones's hands when they were looking at songs for Thriller, of which I think they had about 100 or something crazy like that. And it was like only half of the song or something on the end of the demo tape. And Quincy and MJ listened to it and they went, whoa, what's this? And then they got... I think it was Steve Porcaro, I think that was his name. Got him in to say, oh, let's do the song. So they did the song, and then obviously the band that played on the song was Toto. So basically the guys who would refuse to play the song, would refuse to have it as their band song,
That's amazing.
got called in to do the session for the song for MJ this time, and obviously lost out on all the royalties from it and stuff.
That says a lot about Toto as a band, because I know Thriller, I remember seeing on like documentaries and interviews and stuff that the process they went through of narrowing down Thriller to get Thriller out. They had loads of songs that they painstakingly all completed and finished and mastered, and then went, no, we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that.
Well, they had an A team and a B team, didn't they? So I think at MJ's house or the family house, and there's like if you get the anniversary versions of Thriller, there's like comments on it where you get all
Templeton and all those guys. Yeah.
There's a documentary as well that does a lot of stuff with Bruce Swedian, I think, is the guy who was a producer on it, like the actual not the producer, the engineer. Trademark Ollie face there.
Yeah.
And they talk about all this sort of stuff. It's an incredible process, and I think they had like an the B team that recorded the demos at the house, which included this guy who played a lot of clean guitar, and I feel like his name was something like Ben Johnson or something like that, and all the kind of funky guitar, kind of all that sort of stuff was all him, and they always left it on. I think he recorded directly into the mixing desk, and they always left that on, and kind of, and then they take it to the actual main studio and record it with the A team.
Right.
And that's the process it went through every song. So,
but I just think it's funny that it says a lot about Toto as a band that they discounted a load of songs that they completed and mastered, and I think it's the first track. I might be right. I don't know. I might not be right, but anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, the song that they actually ended up picking was a song that Toto didn't even want themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It wasn't good enough for Toto.
And it's a fantastic song. It's brilliant. Yeah? It's really unique and different. I think Billie Jean was another song where they were like, Quincy was like, I'm not sure about this song, and MJ's like, nah, this song's going on it.
Yeah.
And Quincy, I don't think it's going to get anywhere.
It's a bit safe.
The story of PYT was funny as well. Like, I got a bit obsessed with the Thriller album at one point and just found as much stuff out about it as I can. Listen to more stuff. Yeah. And with PYT, I think MJ, there's a demo on one of his, like, what they call it, not anthology, but is it anthology? Like it's called The Ultimate Michael Jackson or something. It's like a 5-disc box set with a live DVD and stuff. And there's a song called PYT on there. It's like a really slow, kind of sugary song. And it's got the chorus like, she was a PYT, pretty young thing. And I think Quincy, we came in and Quincy went, not into the song, but the title's good. And rewrote
so funny, isn't it?
Rewrote the song and wrote PYT. They go,
completely different.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I won't be doing backing vocals for that one this time, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Well, that's ridiculous because I just... one of the last podcasts I did was with Chelsea, the singer, and we did an acoustic version of PYT. And it's I mean, I must have got the tempo really, really spot on. And Chelsea got
proper good. Yeah.
Chelsea got.
I watched it, by the way. I do watch this. I'm not just.
Chelsea got the vocals spot on. Obviously, almost too good. And YouTube's got this weird thing where I think it must be only with super major label sort of stuff. They've got some sort of what they call algorithm where it listens to a melody and it's picked out. Because no one's sitting and going through an hour of a podcast, but it's picked out that that's a cover, even though it's an acoustic cover and it's a bit different. And it said right, that's copyrighted material. You need to profit share with that.
So we're not doing a Prince song, basically. Right? If you're gonna
get taken off.
Okay, yeah.
But I think if you're not singing it, you probably get away with it. Because I've got loads of covers and stuff on YouTube that's no one's ever picked up.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
I've even on some podcasts, I think I've even played like a little bit of the tune into the microphone, and if it's a short enough period of time, it doesn't bother with that either.
But you sound so much like the record. Your angelic voice.
This is it. Exactly.
Jim's got a great singing voice. I don't know if he's sung in any of the rest of the podcasts, but
I think I did Johnny Be Good with my dad on one of them. I think.
Sick.
Yeah. So drums. How did you start with drums? What's going on with drums? What's your bag with drums?
My bag with drums is accidental. Not necessarily
because you play keyboards and guitar and you sing as well. Beautiful singing and harmonies and stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. But
thanks, man. Yeah. My parents are very musical people. They're not necessarily musicians. My mum plays a bit of piano. She used to play when she was younger, and is an amazing singer. And my dad can sing in tune, and he knows about music. And they both have an amazing taste in music. My dad doesn't play anything or do anything, but I grew up listening to a lot of music. And my mum basically taught me the piano that she learnt in school, that she remembered, that kind of muscle memory of bits and bobs and pieces. And I got the bug for it when I was really young. This must have been like 8 or 9 or something like that. And took that into school, and that was one of the first things. I'm going to do piano lessons. And as an 11-year-old, I knew a couple of like grade 4 pieces that my mum taught me. And going into the first piano lesson when I was 11, just starting to get a little bit like cocky for me. I was a smart ass when I was a teenager. I still am now, but
can't believe that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But
you are still a teenager, aren't you?
That's true. Yeah. I'm a teenage girl. But
teenage dirtbag.
That's it. I am. But
So that's how you got started with piano and keyboards.
yeah, and they sit you down for the first lesson, and it's like C, C, C. So I got bored of that after about 2 or 3 months, and my parents used to go and see. They still do go and see a pub band that play all around London called the Fabs, that have been playing since before I was born. They're called a Fabulous Feedback Band, and they're really good mates with my parents. They've been mates since before I was around. So I grew up listening to all that kind of dad rock and pub rock and stuff. And the first time I saw them, I was like, what is that in that guy's hand? It's a guitar. Oh, my God, I want to be that guy. He's the coolest man in the world. Yeah. So he gave me a guitar lesson, and I went, here's what that is. That really hurts. I hate that. But taught myself it and did the kind of same thing. By the time I got to GCSE level, sort of 14, 15, they offered you a free music tuition lesson as part of if you get to do GCSE, pick it as an option, you get a free lesson, just an extracurricular thing that our school did. And because I did the same thing as piano, I taught myself, but got to a standard where I thought, I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go back to guitar lesson level 1, and they're going to go, don't. So I just picked drums.
Yeah.
On the side, because they were one of the things in your break time and lunchtime that was sitting in the music room, and you go and have a mess around on them.
It's impossible not to.
Exactly, yeah. You go and
this is a drum kit.
stick around and watch the kids in the years above playing a drum groove, and you're like, oh my God. Wow.
What was the first groove that you learned?
What a wicked question. I mean, I assume...
I've done a couple of these podcasts, man. I'm all right with the question.
I assume, sorry. Yeah. It's just... I wasn't supposed to sound patronising. That was just me going, I have no idea, but I should say something. But I think it was just someone would have put on a song or something, and I saw other people do it, and for some reason that first ever drum beat,
Yeah, I'm still on that one though. And I play. Oh, the other one that I do when I forget.
Everyone gets a good bit.
That's the other one.
That's drum groove number 3. That's
Oh.
number 3 in my first drum book in my head. And for some reason, when something about watching other people do that, I sat down and kind of knew what that was in my head and played it first time.
Yeah.
Which was something that I just thought I was copying. I'm copying someone else doing something, but they said, actually, no, that's quite difficult to do. So I went, well, drums are a bit of a laugh, really.
Now, how old were you at that point?
14.
Yeah.
So they went, well, go and do drum lessons. I think they're great fun. You're just messing about, hitting stuff.
Yeah.
So I did that in like year 10 in school.
Yeah.
And started pushing through grades and stuff through there. And then when I got to college, it was the first time it was ever presented in front of me. Someone told me, my teacher at the time, a guy called Pete Jackson, who's still teaching over in Romford, where I grew up, Hornchurch, like East London, Essex area.
Not Peter Jackson, who makes films about King Kong and hobbits.
No. This is different guy. It's just as epic, but in a completely different way. Anyway, he just dangled this carrot and said, ACM, look at this. You don't have to get a B to get into a uni at GCSE. You can get 2 Cs and go and play drums for a degree.
Yeah.
And go and try and do it for a job. And I just never thought that was a thing before.
And hang around with musicians.
And and start bumming about really early.
Yeah, exactly. So you went to ACM. So what is ACM? Give us an idea what ACM for anybody who doesn't know.
The last sort of 10 or 15 years ago, these kind of colleges have been springing up all over the UK. They're based on Berkeley in the US. It's basically just a music college, specifically catered around contemporary music. So not your traditional instruments, your normal contemporary pop instruments, bass, keys, guitar, drums, vocals. And they all have that similar vibe where most people, if you ever talk to alumni of these kind of places, they all go, it's rubbish. It didn't teach me anything. I only went to meet people and join bands and stuff. And which is, true to a degree, but they obviously have to still try and create a degree course.
Of course, yeah.
That's an official thing affiliated with a university.
Yeah.
But at the same time, try and actually secretly teach you the stuff you need to know.
It's a hard thing with music because, I did a degree course. I did it with Huddersfield University, which is whatever. And it wasn't even at Huddersfield University when I did it. And it was the first year that they did that particular course. And there was literally 10 guys on it. and out of the 10 guys was me and only one other guy who was serious about it, and that's my mate Chris Aspin. And we're like pro musicians now, so I don't think most of the other guys are anywhere near.
Right, so you're guinea pigs for it, like.
Yeah, we were kind of the guinea pig course for. It'd been through Barnsley College before, and but then it was like restarted for Huddersfield University. Anyway, the amount of stuff that I particularly learned on that course wasn't a lot, but it was great to meet Chris, and we kind of had a good connection and pushed each other to go forward in the music industry. But all the learning, just like anything else, really, you do it when you finish school. So like I met you on the jams in London, like I did with Tim as well, and just like watching people play in like since I've been in London the last 3 years, watching people in jam nights. That's where I've learned them. I've learned far more stuff than I did at uni, because you get like a list of stuff that appeals to you that you want to. Like if I see a guitar player do something interesting, I'll be like, I need to find out about what that is.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like that about ACM? It was a kind of a good starter, but it's not where you kind of learn the stuff. Or did you actually get some sort of kind of like some knowledge out of it? Because we didn't really get that. We didn't do that. There wasn't that much playing on it, actually.
I definitely got it was an awful lot. I came out of it a completely different person than I went into it. If you just go in there for the syllabus alone and take the syllabus at face level, you'll learn an awful lot, but they're not necessarily things that are directly transferable skills.
Yeah.
There's a lot that is. There's obviously an amazing amount that they do put in that you will use all the time. But for me, it was mainly just the starting point for at least presenting all the options for you, because obviously you can figure
it gives you like a table of contents of
exactly. When you're 16, 17, you're doing your A levels and you're like, I don't know where I'd start to be a musician, especially where I grew up. Where I grew up, there's a kind of a live music scene. It's a bit more metal based, and they're all pretty amateur, do it on their side. No one really sounds very good. From.
Romford sounds like Rotherham.
That's it. They're probably really similar.
Yeah.
So it was just somewhere to go for people to go, here's what you can do.
Yeah.
And there are still tutors there that at least, even if they've not necessarily directly done it all, they still, like, I wouldn't have started going to jams in London if I hadn't have gone to ACM.
Oh, really? Is it the tutors that push you on?
That was other students at the time. That was other alumni and other people around me that were like, come down to here, come down to there. And
because Tim, what was it? You were saying that some people on your course were saying that you were saying it's strange because some of the tutors, not to diss them, but obviously they were going into the industry at a kind of different time to what you are, and they had a different idea of how to go about.
Yeah, there's kind of. I always find it's a bit of a tricky situation because there's these teachers, particularly the older teachers. They've kind of, a lot of them, they've done huge gigs, and like, back in the 80s, there was those guys that just doing studio sessions all the time. But sometimes they say stuff and you're just like, there's so many people I know in the industry now that have told me that's not true. I kind of feel like in a situation, I don't want to be that arrogant little kid going, I know better. But at the same time, it's like, I remember one of my teachers said something like, if you can sight read, you'll get a career. If you don't, you won't. Which obviously, I mean, sight reading is not a bad skill to have, but most of the guys I speak to doing the big pop gigs and stuff say that reading's not really a thing. So it's, there's a couple of younger teachers that are like still in the scene doing like pop stuff and stuff, and they're cool. Like, I find actually the best stuff about the uni is like after the lessons when you go and just chat to some of the teachers who are doing stuff that you want to do, and you pick their brains like, who do I need to meet to go and do that? And like, I think it's one of my teachers actually told me about Churros, the jam where we go to.
Really? Is that?
So,
yeah. Because that's incredible. I mean, we still go there. And was it that or Marmalade that I met you at?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, it was because you could just come back from. That was what I was going to ask you as well. You just come back from Bahrain, haven't you?
Yeah.
And tell us about. Can you tell us anything about Bahrain? Like, because you basically Ollie did one of these. I think it was in one of the last podcasts talking to Jacob, who'd just come out and just come back from Dubai, and he'd done one, and he was saying like, yeah, it's a lot. Like, if it goes well, it goes well. If it doesn't go well, you've got no recourse and no comeback. What happened to you out there?
I fell victim to the crazy, bizarre system out there.
Well, you went out to do like one of these. Was it a 6-month contract in a hotel, playing twice a day?
Yeah, just a hotel residency. It's 6 nights a week, 3 hours a day, like a night-time normal gig kind of length.
Great, because that's a lot of playing to do when you're coming out of? Were you coming out of kind of college at the time? Or?
About 2 years out.
Yeah,
about
yeah.
2 years out. So I was in a wedding band in Surrey when I left uni.
Yeah.
I joined a band whilst I was quite lucky. I joined a band like in my first year at ACM that the guitarist of the band was trying to get something together now so that we could get some momentum when they finished.
Yeah.
And I got really lucky that I was doing weddings, but it was the usual kind of 1 week, 2 week thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just saw another a friend of mine called Danny, who's another kid in my class at ACM, went out and did it with this agency. And the weird thing that sold it for me was that his cover photo was him skydiving over the palm in Jumeirah. Which, if anyone is now friends with me on Facebook, will know that that's now my cover photo. Because the main reason I went there is I went, "What are you doing? How do I do that?" over the line. And he went, "Oh, it's just this agency in Birmingham called Here and Now Entertainment that deal with contract residencies in hotels." Because out in that part of the world, I don't know if it's that they haven't figured it out yet, but they don't seem to like DJs that well they still have DJs but not as much. They
say the hotels really want the live music. Like there's a lot of people a lot of UK musicians going out and
which is great for
doing
us.
those contracts.
Yeah,
It
it's
seems to be a
amazing.
pretty standard thing that people do when they're trying to get into the industry. They go, okay, I haven't got any gigs, I'll just go and do ships and then meet people.
Ships or hotels.
Yeah, hotels,
Absolutely.
yeah, exactly. Get your thing into shape.
You get that kind of, I suppose, I mean, I never did it, but what I've heard from people who have done it is that you get that thing of playing 3 hours a night, 6 days a week. Like your playing level's just going to go from there to there. You know, it's
for me, a lot of it was just it gets you over that. Not necessarily caring about performing live and making mistakes and stuff, but it is kind of like not caring about making mistakes. You know what I mean? It's,
You're not scared of it anymore.
Yeah, it gets you over that hump of making this actually your comfort zone rather than a place you should be scared of and worried about everyone judging you in your eyes and stuff like that. After a while, I hate to use the term office, and I've been guilty of doing it before in the past, but it does become like that, and it becomes really natural and part of you. You see it as a job.
This is where I do my work.
Exactly. Yeah. So when you come back and get thrown into different environments, like different jam nights. Before I had a problem with jam nights, as everyone does, of that getting up and you've not been up on a stage for very much, and other musicians are watching you, which is also really daunting. And it got me over that because whatever kind of thing you sit behind, you sit down and you go, okay, someone's still going to turn around, and even if they're going to present a song that I've got no idea and I'm going to muck it up, at least I can
2 and 4.
Yeah, 2 and 4 it. Boots and cats it, and hope no one notices.
So what happened in Dubai then? What, you had to come home early?
I did. My contract was supposed to end in June this year, and I'd normally be a bit reserved about talking about it in too much detail and putting it on the internet.
If it's gonna,
but I don't. By this point, I don't really care.
Be careful though, because you might regret that decision. Basically, you had to come back early because of some.
There's a lot of speculation about an event that might have happened out there, an altercation regarding some of the staff at the hotel I was working in and a member of the royal family connected to the government. And out there, you know, the royal family is a very big deal, very important. They see them as a very high members. I mean, they do their thing. That's just what their culture is. That's absolutely fine. But the police have shut that hotel down and aren't telling anyone what's happening with it.
Yeah. So you got sent home early.
Yeah.
And then your equipment's still there.
Yeah, it basically happened on one night when we just finished a gig, normal as we do. We had a couple of drinks afterwards. See you tomorrow, same time tomorrow. Well, actually a bit earlier tomorrow because we've got a practice. We did one practice a week, and it happened to be this Monday that we did. And yeah, I just rocked up in the morning, and all the lights were off. No one was in the hotel. The doors were bolted shut. Police lines and police tape, and manager wasn't picking up the phone, and we just sort of, you know, looking at each other.
What's happened here?
What do we do now?
So then you came home early, and then that's when I started seeing you at jams and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. We were out there for about a month, just waiting to find out if there was anything happening, and they basically said, "Oh, it'll be 2 weeks before something happens," and
Is your phone ringing? Or is
They've
it
been
mine?
saying 2 weeks consistently. It is my phone.
No,
I'm
it's
gonna
all
put
right.
it down there.
Professional as
Damn it,
always.
son.
It's the band leader for a band I'm in. He might be offering me work.
It's the thing.
not.
People talk about. I didn't check my phone for an hour the other day, and I missed a gig.
Oh, drummers! It's so bad for drummers. Like not trying to like make us feel worse than you guys. Obviously, we all go through that same.
But you
pain.
are worse than us
But
guys. But
the thing about London is that I got that. Sorry, I did a drummer there. I was like, la, 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 la.
Symbols.
But you're
symbols.
right. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No, it's hard. That's why you always got to check your phone. Like somebody sent me a message on Facebook Messenger, and I was like, saw it like an hour later. No, it's sorted now.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you guys will feel the same. Not necessarily. You might not because you obviously haven't. You're experiencing your own way with your instruments, but I feel like there's more drummers.
Yeah, there's a lot of drummers. I always feel like when we go to jam, right, I'm like usually one of few bass players, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I know I'm gonna get to play with all the drummers. There's like loads of
It's
them
like
sitting there, and like,
keys
can I play?
It goes keys players, bass players, guitarists, and drummers. Vocalists you can't really count because it's obviously they get up and do their thing, and it's random.
Horns players as well is a
But-
rarity.
Yeah. Neither of you guys were at Ronnie's the other day talking about vocalists. This drunk girl got up and killed I Want You Back. She absolutely killed it.
Do you mean killed it like
Killed it
she
in a
killed it, man?
bad way.
Oh, really?
She
And I called it.
she actually killed it.
I called it. I said, yeah, this isn't gonna go well. And the chorus says she did fine, but the verses she started like the verses like 2.5 bars late.
Oh,
And it, like,
no.
Totally made the band like the band were playing it fine, but it totally like they all just went.
Yeah, it's
and
jazz,
it just,
man.
It just sounded awful. Should we have a little jam through that?
Yeah.
See, I want you back. Did you say?
Now you've said that, we're gonna we're gonna. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good because it's gonna be like the fun drum part of the. There's not really a lot of grooving,
Yeah.
which is great for me. We're gonna have a great time.
It was absolutely hilarious watching it though, because it's like the poor band, like it totally wasn't their fault, but they sounded awful because she just started like it's like so you go like so like when I had you too, man. It's like, and the band were like, and it all just kind of collapsed.
That's
and
just
started
Ronnie's
again.
roulette, though, isn't it? Like you'll be there at Ronnie's, there'll be like 15 songs, be like that was cool. I know those songs. All musicians were great, and you go, okay, I'll get up now. And
Yeah.
then some singer gets up and just calls some random song, and all the musicians don't know
That's
it. You're
it.
like,
Yeah.
oh.
We did it once where there's that guy who called, and he was Stone Roses. Do you know any
Yeah.
Stone Roses? And I was like, kind of.
Well, that was Ollie's fault.
That was my
that
fault.
was
That
on
was
Ollie.
100% my
You could
fault.
have started noodling around the riff, then Ollie just started playing. Was like, right, let's do it. And then
So
me and the keys player was like, I don't fucking know it.
If you get up and play.
The singer didn't know it either.
No.
If you get up and play drums at Ronnie's, the bit behind, you play in a little alcove from the rest of the stage, and you can't really hear what's going on. So when you're sitting behind it, you've just finished a song, and then another person gets up. You've got no idea what's going on until someone gets like this close and goes, Valerie, I'm going to play Valerie. You know, it's going to be Valerie.
Ronnie Scott's this is on Frith Street
It is,
in
it is.
Soho. And it's the upstairs one that we go to Ruby Sings on Tuesday.
Yep.
To be fair, it is usually most of the songs are good. It's just that one or two
Yeah.
of the night
Yeah.
where you're a bit like.
But this
what
was
that?
this one time was my fault because you started playing a song, and in my head I just thought that's what they've all decided they're going to play, and it's been a bit silent for too long. So I jumped in,
I know you did,
and
yeah.
as soon as two people start playing, it's like, there we go, they're
So
playing
we're
a song.
Yeah.
And then we all just looked around in panic.
And it just does that for like 5 minutes, and we just.
And then you get the dreaded at the end of the song when they get the dreaded. Can we have the house band back to the stage, please?
The most patronising thing ever.
Yeah. Right, I want you back. You know it? You know it?
Yeah,
2 and 4, yeah?
that's it. Less than that, it's just all hi-hat. We're having a great time.
That's it. Go on then. Oh, you're starting again. That's how
You've got to do the bridge though.
Without a singer, that doesn't work, does it? Yeah.
So I
The bridge
totally
is the
messed
bit
up
where
that first
everything falls down. The bridge is like a.
It's just where it comes in. No one knows where it comes in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once they get to there, it's all right. Everyone's fine with that. It's just no one understands. Now that I've seen your songs.
Yeah. What's the other one we were saying we might have got? Oh yeah.
We're getting proper wedding band, aren't we? I love it.
Yeah, he's a bit wedding bandy, that. It's cooler. I used to know it where I put like the brass parts and stuff. I can't remember that at the moment. Okay. what was that?
We're going to do a wedding set for you now.
I thought it was higher and higher. Yeah, that drum fill. Going back to the Thriller conversation we had earlier. Rock With You and Baby Be Mine, the drum fills are quite similar at the start, aren't they?
They are, and
That's caught me out a few times.
one of the things about I know Baby Be Mine would be a nasty one to start with is to play live is because of that start that drum intro is really similar.
What is it?
But it starts on a different beat. It doesn't start. I've not sat down and studied it and worked it out where it comes in. But it's basically. I might even work it out now, which is a bit sad. But so, Rock With You is. But Baby Be Mine.
It's so cool, yeah.
But that's not.
But it's a classic example of where like because Rock With You's on Off the Wall and Baby Be Mine's on Thriller. It's a classic example of where they get this thing where they've got. They want a new version of the song that worked well on the last album. So with Stevie, you've got like Superstition, I Wish.
Yep.
There's a few others that are very similar on different albums.
Bring out that, yeah.
That
yeah,
are that same feel, that same groove, and MJ had it on his going through his as well. It's kind of, I suppose it works. You kind of get like an updated version of the song, don't you?
But it is interesting to see how even that sort of that golden era of music on these instruments that people talk about, that's still quite a businessy way that they were thinking about it.
Oh,
you know
for sure.
what I mean? It's still like that made us the most money.
Yeah, it's almost like a formula, isn't it? Like, okay,
We
this
do
is a
that
math
again.
equation that's going to make us money.
Absolutely.
Let's apply it to this song.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not necessarily suggesting that that's why I Wish is why it's written, because that's still an amazing song on its own right.
Absolute
but-
bang.
Meanwhile, Wild West.
No.
What's another Stevie tune that's got that kind of same kind of vibe and feel to it? Because then you'll have like the kind of the ones that are more kind of jazzy, kind of Latin-y, like Another Star or Sunshine of Your Life or For Once in My Life. They kind of all fit a similar mold
Once
as
in
well.
My Life's a great tune.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely got a starting kind of vibe, but then draws off at different parts of it. Obviously, he started out, Motown-y, Stax and all that kind of jazz. So
Yeah.
that's where, For Once in My Life, that was like Funk Brothers, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Jameson and all
yeah,
those
yeah.
cats, so-
There was a video going around Facebook. It was like the isolated bass and the vocals together, and it was
With
so
the graphic?
awesome.
Oh,
yeah,
that
yeah,
graphic.
it's awesome.
Ridiculous.
It's almost like two kind of counterpart melodies
Yeah.
that just like
You
yeah,
need
it's
to
awesome.
post that graphic on that description, because if you haven't seen that graphic, it doesn't matter even if you don't play an instrument.
Yeah, it makes a lot of
Look at
sense. And
that.
just like,
Look
well, it
at
makes
that.
no sense. Yeah.
Absolute
Do
poetry.
you know it?
Maybe some of it.
Play us what you know. Play us what you know.
Let me see if I can remember it. Hold on.
Tim Jameson. You have to lie on the floor.
Yeah, that much. It's like we had to learn it for
You
uni.
can be
It's like just completely improvised the whole way through. We
Yeah,
had
it
to learn
is,
like
yeah.
the whole line off by heart, but I can't remember.
The
it.
one that he did on his
Brilliant.
back was What's Going On, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was. Did you know? Do you know the story behind that?
Yeah, he was really drunk.
Yeah,
wasn't he?
yeah. And the singer was like, "I want Jameson's." They just went and found him in a bar.
Oh, and he was bladdered.
Do you know it? Do you know
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
Going On?
laddered.
Get on the floor. Right, we all know where we are now, yeah?
Back to the verse. Oh, you went to the bit.
Yeah, all the pros.
Have you heard the bit that always I can see where they've done this. You know John Mayer where he does what is it Waiting on the World to Change.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the same bit, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's the name of the drummer on that bit? On that is it the guy who used he used for the trio gig with
I
Pino?
don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so. The guy in the trio, Steve Jordan,
He's awesome.
an absolute
Awesome.
beast of a player. But I don't know.
He
So I
usually
wouldn't-
uses a different band. It was just for that trio that he used, Pino and Steve
Yeah.
Jordan. It's just for that specific
He's
thing.
got. Well, I think he's also got a different band for live and for the studio as well. Right?
Sean Hurley on bass, I know usually. Not sure about the drummer.
See, Tim knows his stuff. I have no idea who played drums on that, which I should do. That's an awesome album.
Yeah, it's great. I really like the live trio thing that he did.
Trio's coming back.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, they're going on tour.
Is it Pino again?
Yeah, Steve Jordan.
What was the thing you told me about Pino's kid at school?
Oh,
like,
okay.
music
So
stuff?
basically, so
How do you-
Okay.
and
a
how do you
few
know?
years ago, Pino's son went to my uni, and anyone that knows
Pino Palladino we're talking about, the guy who did the stuff for like was it,
everyone,
Yeah.
the
D'Angelo,
John Mayer trio,
maybe.
D'Angelo, Paul Young, all that fretless
Where I
stuff.
Lay My Hat
And
as
basically, he's really famous for playing this like old '60s Fiesta Red P bass, and it's like really famous bass. So one day, apparently, his kid comes into uni, and just pulls out this red P bass, and my teacher's just like, "Is that the bass?" And then he's just like, "Yeah." Apparently, the whole class just sitting there like gobsmacked, like that.
He did.
bass.
He was on Ben Jones's EP, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Rocco, right?
he's doing D'Angelo now as well.
Is he
That's
really?
nepotism, if you've ever heard of it. Yeah, but to be fair though, he's killing it. I saw the gig, and it's not just a case like,
Oh, he
here's my
should.
son. Like
Yeah,
he's a monster bass player.
Rocco Palladino.
Yeah.
Look him up.
that wasn't the one I was thinking about. Didn't you say that?
Oh, the sight reading thing.
Yeah.
This is another great one. So, to be fair, in fairness, this is from a teacher who is known to exaggerate stories, to put it politely. However,
Okay.
this is how the story goes, is that he was doing a diploma course, which is like the course for like 16-year-olds, so you have a parents' evening. And Pino doesn't read like a note of music. He's one of those guys that just done all this session stuff, just learning it by ear and whatever. So apparently, like, Rocco came into the uni, he's like fantastic player, obviously, like his dad's Pino, but couldn't read. So Pino walks into the parents' evening, the teacher's like, so yeah, your son needs to work on his sight reading. And apparently at this point, Pino just like bursts out laughing, like, you understand why I'm laughing, don't you? And my teacher's just like, yeah.
So that's ridiculous. So someone told me like Pino's like hourly rate for session work the other day, and it was ridiculous. I can't
not
remember what it was. I was
Price,
like,
it's worth it. It's worth every penny. The guy's just absolutely beautiful. That's weird. It's a strange balance, that whole thing about sight reading, though, isn't it? Because it totally depends on what kind of music you want to get involved
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
If you want to do like theatre stuff, you've got to be able to
a
read.
a lot of very well paid music stuff
Yeah.
is like you need your sight reading
Yeah,
jobs for
yeah.
it, you know. And the whole point about being a professional musician nowadays and a professional drummer, just got Jim's joke in there for him, is that you can't. There isn't a particular thing you can turn down.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
you
right,
can't say
yeah,
I'm not going to do this thing.
no.
Yeah, I think the more skill sets you have, the better. There's no, there's some guys that go, I just want to do jazz, or I just want to do this, I just want to do that. Like, it's good to have a name, but at the same time, you've got to be able to take anything that comes on and have the skills to do it.
Yeah, that's right.
For the pop stuff, like you're right, like you don't need to do that. But that's
Yeah.
if you want to go and do the pop stuff forever.
Yeah.
Which, if you chat to anyone who's doing the pop stuff
They don't
right
want to
now,
be doing that, yeah.
they don't want to do it forever.
No. Well, you were just saying, you were jamming. I'm not saying any names, but you were jamming with somebody who was plays for a pretty big pop artist, don't you? Well, and actually two people, and one of them was saying that they kind of want to focus on doing their own stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's a real common thing when you speak to a lot of guys doing the pop thing. I've spoken to loads of guys that just say it, they kind of do it, and then, do you know, I was actually talking about this with Jason the other day, and we were discussing, like,
Jason
think-
Tebble of
yeah,
Circus
as in-
8
as
fame,
in-
who are doing a gig in London tonight.
yeah.
I can't go to some doing a gig myself.
That you will not. By the time you hear of that, it will have already happened.
Yeah, so come to the next one. But like, not that either of us have done any massive gigs, but we were kind of discussing like whether we think it would be better to kind of play main stage at Glastonbury as a session player, or play like BBC introducing stage, like playing your own stuff. And I think a real common answer from the guys doing the big pop gigs is they'd rather do BBC introducing, doing their own stuff, just because.
Can I answer both?
I mean, I think we would all love to do both.
How I heard that, what you said
yeah.
there, I realised you said BBC introducing, but because of your accent, I thought you said Beavis introducing, and I thought like they got like some sort of hologram of Beavis.
As in
from
Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah, coming out as Conholio and introducing bands.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Beavis and Butthead. Oh, he's young. That's why you forget he doesn't know.
You're not that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, the cartoon.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
cartoon.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favourite bands was a band called Crowbar when I was growing up, a metal band, really slow, heavy, and basically they were influenced by like 70s epic power ballads, but they played with like the most distortion ever, like Metal Zone pedals turned to like the max, and they were big fat guys playing really slow, and everything was half-time drum beat. And I remember on Beavis and Butthead, they said, this is like gym music for fat people. That's how they described it. It was brilliant.
That's your jam.
Yeah, that was
That's
my
your-
jam.
okay.
I was like, yeah, that sounds good. I'm going to have to go in a minute because I've got a gig, but
busy
and we
man,
took
look at you.
ages to it's a bar gig.
Barry, you won't get this.
You won't get any time, but eventually we're going to figure out how to do this live.
Yes.
And then we'll have to make sure that we know the fucking song before we start.
And
What are you
plug,
talking about? That was first take.
That
Jim.
was first take.
and
yeah.
plug the gigs that you're playing that night.
But that's the whole point. That's the idea. Yeah, that'd be cool. But no, it's been fun, and it took us ages to set up because I think this is what we're going to try and do it in here more because it's quite nice.
It's
Isn't
a good vibe.
Yes,
Good vibe.
a lot of this was also a test run just to see what.
Yeah, Ollie's the guinea pig for seeing if we can make drums and stuff sound good. So if this sounds like dog shit, it's Ollie's fault.
Well, you just won't put it up, and
probably
it's
won't
just
put
been
it
a
up.
waste of time.
But no, it's been great. It's been cool. And we'll do it again because obviously you live. What I want to do is some chat ones as well because me and you end up having a couple of beers and whatever, maybe a little something. or
Drunk
something.
cast.
And drunk cast and just set up a little camera and a thing and just chat and get Tim to come over and just do like a non-playing one. I mean, we haven't played much today, but as you say, it's like a tester one.
That's
Just
the thing,
film us like making drunken fools like the other night.
Well, that's the thing.
Great.
We've done that a lot already. Just no one's put a cammer up and put it on YouTube.
This is
So
it. And this is exactly
This
what I'm
could
going
go
to do.
very well or very badly.
probably bad. Yeah.
Everyone was building up good reputations, and I'm here to destroy them all.
Excellent. I love that.
No, but it's awesome. Have we got a tune that we can jam for the like?
Tim's choice.
Didn't you say do I do earlier? No, let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
I had to do that on acoustic the other day.
All I can think of is like really obvious wedding songs now.
Oh, wow.
Think of an unobvious wedding song.
Can we do some Chili's?
We can do some Chili's if I know it.
Charlie?
I've never even heard that one. So, and
Great
I quite like Chili's. Which albums are?
Stadium Arcadium.
That's
Check
why I haven't
out.
heard it.
Great tune.
We know all the obvious stuff.
Well, they're the bad ones. Come on, you need to know.
That's why he said to play the.
Yeah.
That wasn't Charlie. That wasn't Charlie. That was Black Eyed Boy. Charlie's like.
Oh, okay.
That sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty cool.
Should we do something else?
Those flat wound strings sounded awesome first.
Maybe not. It's like Jameson trying to play some Chili's. Maybe not.
Igor,
What did we jam? What did we jam on Monday?
the jam night.
Oh, we did
One of the
F to G,
same old ones.
F and G, but I went well with that vocal. So
Dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, it isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
No. What did we play? We played either Kiss or
We could do Kiss.
My Love.
My love. That was that slow one.
No, do you remember? It's
Oh, I didn't know that.
no.
Oh, my love. Oh, yeah.
It's not All My. This is what a singer was trying to tell a singer of a song to play. All My Love. Never too much.
The Kind of About Music podcast.